Community college students may have an easier time transferring into UC campuses. We first told you about the plan that offers them a clear path earlier. Peggy Pico takes a closer look at how it's going to work.
Until now, each of the 9 University of California campuses had its own entrance requirements for transferring college students. The process made it difficult for students applying to multiple UC campuses. Now, the new program, Transfer Pathways, aims to make it easier. Here with how are my guests, Stephen Handel, Associate Vice President of Undergraduate Admissions for the University of California System, and Lynn Nolt, Vice Chancellor of Student Services at San Diego Community College District. And Stephen, what is the goal of this transfer pathway?
Well, part of it is to build a much stronger relationship with California's community colleges. We have 9 undergraduate campuses, and each of our campuses is very interested in enrolling community college transfer students. And we need to make that process a little bit simpler. So what the faculty have done, have gotten together for among the most popular majors and simplified that process for students, telling them precisely the kinds of courses they need to take.
And how many transfer students do you typically get?
Well, we take 1 transfer student for every 2 freshmen. So about a third of our enrollment is of California community college students.
And you mentioned there were 10 majors that it's going to apply to right away. Can you highlight a few of those?
Sure. They're among the most popular majors that our community college transfers are interested in. So biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, economics, psychology, sociology.
That's good to know those are popular. Now, Lynn, how many community college students do you have that say, I'm interested in going into UC school?
Well, we have about 50% of our students that come to us when they apply indicate an interest to transfer. At that time, they don't specify which university or campus, but they do declare a transfer intent. And we know that UCSD has consistently been our second top transfer destination for our students year after year over the past several years, as well as we transfer students to other campuses all over the state.
So specifically, how would this streamline process make it easier for community colleges students to apply to the UC system?
Well, as we know, it's the capacity at the public universities in California is a challenge for many of our students. There just simply isn't enough space to meet all of the demand. So students have to really allow themselves to apply to many institutions and have a number of options because it's getting more and more competitive. So this will allow our students to really prepare to transfer to any of the institutions and have more options.
And kind of know, I guess, which classes they need to take and on a timeline.
Precisely the idea is to make community college transfer students competitive across our system. And so by systemizing these requirements, they then have more options to avail themselves. It's a very competitive process, and so we want to have them have as many options as possible.
Sure. And Steve, how much is this going to cost, and how is it funded?
It's not going to frankly cost anything, because what we're providing here is the kind of guidance that students very much want to get. And so that's why our faculty got together, understanding that we asked them to apply to multiple campuses, so it's the obligation's on us to sort of provide the guidance that's necessary to get them to enroll.
I understand it was part of that budget deal negotiated with the governor in a budget increase for education. Will the university system actually fund this with, or actually increase staff to help with this?
Well, one part, you're right, one part of the budget framework is for the university to move more closely to the 2-to-1 ratio as part of the California Master Plan, which involves increases in enrollment.
2-to-1, tell us what that is.
Well, the 2-to-1 ratio basically means, again, for all of our campuses, taking at least 1 transfer student for every 2 freshmen that we take. Many of our campuses are already there. A couple of campuses need to work up to that. So that's part of the budget framework.
And Lynn, how does streamlining this transfer process actually help community colleges?
Well, what this does for our students is it gives them a clear roadmap, if you will. So with the number of students that we serve, often they're not able to get in to see a counselor to help map out their pathway. And when sometimes preparing for transfer can be pretty daunting for students, because if you want to go to this institution, here are the courses you need to take. If you want to go to this institution, here are the courses you need to take. So you don't know where you're going to get accepted, and you need to prepare. This will really allow our students to have a clear roadmap to say, okay, here's your roadmap to UCSD in biology, or UC Berkeley, or UC Merced. So it really gives a clear guidance
A
for
clear
our
pathway, as
students.
it says, and
Right.
I'll have to end on this, Stephen. So when does this start? When can students start participating?
Well, as you know, President Napolitano, along with Chancellor Bryce Harris, announced this just last week. It begins now, essentially. It's guidance that will be available for students now. So students beginning this fall, the community colleges will have that advice and counsel going forward. So we hope for them to take advantage of it as soon as possible.
All right, Stephen Handel and Noel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.